Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moving from AutoCAD to Revit. My name is Juliana, and I work in marketing here at MicroCAD. And today's presenter is Andrea Gonzalez. By the end of the webinar, you will leave knowing if you should do the moving, when and how, and which are the advantages and disadvantages of each program. Throughout the webinar, you can ask a question at any given point on the left-hand corner. You can ask Andrea to revisit a step or ask any AutoCAD or Revit questions. This is your time, and we want you to make the most of it. And in the left-hand corner, you will find links to our productivity tools info as well as our MicroCAD website. Also, make sure to check our YouTube channel. We post all of our webinars there at the end so you can share with colleagues or rewatch it on your own time. And without further ado, we'll pass it on to Andrea.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andrea Gonzalez, and I am an AEC application specialist on behalf of MicroCAD Training and Consulting. I would like to welcome you here today in our Moving from AutoCAD to Revit webinar. AutoCAD and Revit are the two Autodesk programs by excellency that aim to ease the day-to-day task of the AEC industry professionals. But are they the same? If I move to Revit, what is going to happen with the clients that are still using AutoCAD? What will be the cost-benefit balance? How the transition should be done without affecting the productivity? In this space, we are committed to help you as our clients, providing all the information needed to solve all questions and concerns that may arise in order you can make the best decisions and determine which may work the most for you. Although AutoCAD has existed and has been using during decades by many engineers and architects adapting to its evolutions over time, and it is still the reference software for CAD design, we have seen how the use of Revit has been growing little by little and its positioning in the market has become stronger. Here, I am showing a general overview of the difference and characteristics of both programs. And before going deeper in the ones I consider the most important ones, I should like to begin by going over two very important definitions that will give us clarity of what we were talking about. So, what is CAD? CAD means computer-aided design. CAD software provides technology for architects, engineers, and construction professionals to design and create precise 2D and 3D drawings, replacing manual drafting with an automated process. You can draft, annotate, and design 2D geometry and 3D models with solid surface and mesh objects. You also can automate tasks like comparing drawings, counting objects, adding blocks, creating schedules, and more. And you also can customize your workspace with CAD. What is BIM? BIM means Building Information Modeling, and it is an intelligent 3D model-based process that involves digital representation of physical and functional characteristics of a facility. It will allow you to do model shapes, structures, and systems in 3D with parametric accuracy, precision, and ease. You can streamline documentation work with instant revisions to plans, elevations, schedules, and sections as project change. And you also can empower multidisciplinary teams with specialty toolsets and a unified project environment. So the main question, what Revit has over AutoCAD? In here, I'm showing the ones I consider are the most important for making the difference. But it is worth mentioning that these ones are not the only ones. So let's go over each one. So the first one is 2D versus 3D, which means Parametric Buildings Modeler. So in here, with AutoCAD, which is the traditional process, the construction documents are created independently and typically including plans, sections, elevations, details, and notes. Sometimes a separate 3D or isometric model is created or drawn in addition to these documents. The changes made in one document, such as the addition of a light fixture in a plan, must be coordinated with the rest of the documents and schedules in set by separate. So if I do a change here in the plans, I should also have modified the model or the isometric, then I have to go to the sections, to the elevations, and then I have to double check that all the changes are reflected in the construction documents. And in BIM with Revit, the design process revolves around the model. Plan, elevations, and sections are simply 2D versions of the 3D model, while schedules are reports of the information stored in the models. Change made in one view automatically will call out tags and sync with the sheet numbers. This is called bidirectional associativity. By creating complete models and associated views of those models, Revit takes much of the tediousness out of producing a building design. BIM has changed the process of how a building is planned, budgeted, designed, constructed, and in some cases, operated and maintained. In simple terms, when using CAD for building design, you focus on creating drawings, but when using BIM, you focus on creating a building model, and the drawings can be generated from the model. So far, the first remarkable and main difference and benefit of Revit over AutoCAD is that on a basis of a 3D model, as you are drawing and making changes, everything on the model is updated in real time. But how Revit can do that? That brings us to the next important definition. Revit is a parametric building modeler software. That means that there is a relationship established between building elements. When one element changes, all other related elements and or geometry are modified as well. Views, sections, details, schedules. For example, when you place a door in a wall, the door removes part of the wall and stays inside that wall it moves. Revit elements are smart. The software recognizes them as walls, as columns, as plants, as dots, lighting fixtures, etc., while AutoCAD manages all the elements as blocks with only a name. These Revit elements has information stored in their properties, which ensures that everything is coordinated across an entire project, which AutoCAD doesn't. So let's make the words an act. I have in here a model with an architectural background of a two-story building, which have some plumbing work on it. I'm going to do some exercise in both Revit and CAD in order to show you what I have been talking about. So I will start with a small example of the Revit intelligence. So I'm going to move to the architectural file. So this is a Revit model. So let's say I would like to add a door in here. So if I click in here, I have three kind of doors like default that comes with default with the program. So I'm going to select the single one, and I'm going to select the place where I want to add it. So if I click in here, it cut the wall for me. If I want to change the position, I can do that with just one click. If I want to move this door in the wall, it is just one click. But what if I want to do this modification in a AutoCAD file? So I have to go here. I have to insert block. I'm going to rotate this. I'm going to place the door where I want to see it, and I have to trim and adjust all the lines around this door to make this modification. So So as you can see in AutoCAD, I had to perform many operations for adding a door. Revit understands that if I need to add a door, it has to cut the wall and it recognizes all the elements with its properties. Let's move to Revit again. So I will use the model with the architectural and the plumbing pipe on. So I will use this view. So this is the second floor plan view. So if you see this pipe, if I select this pipe, it will be selected in all views. So here I have a callout, I also have a section, and I have my 3D view. So if I select the section and if I move the area of my section, just take a look in here, this is the section. If I move the area, I will be able to see hide or see whatever I want. If I move this, I will see in the section exactly what it is in the area I'm covering here in the plan. So I'm going to keep this in here. If I would like to change, for example, the routing. So let's say I just want to do something in here. Let's say there is some mechanical equipment that I need to avoid. So as you can see here, I'm drawing a new pipe and it is reflected in here, it is reflected in the call out, and it is reflected in here as well. So to look what is happening in here, so let's connect this in here. And here it is. So as you are changing your pipe or your element in one view, it will be updated in all your related views. So let's say I also want to, let's select house, attach end in order if it doesn't lose the association. Let's say I would like to upsize this. So I'm going to say 1.5 inches, and it will update all the related views as well. Let's talk about another cool thing about Revit versus AutoCAD. So the majority of generic elements are exactly the same as in the real life. So if you are modeling and Revit shows you a warning, it is because you really can do it. So let's say I just want to go down with this pipe as closer to the other one. And here it is. So that means that you really can do it. In AutoCAD, you are subject to your experience and your knowledge, and it may not work on the field, which may cause a setback in the entire construction process. In this connection, it is definitely also worth mentioning that families and model elements such as walls, floors, roof, ceilings, doors, windows, plumbing fixtures, columns, furniture are already in the software, or at least the generic and most common ones. And they are also separated by disciplines. So I'm going to close this. And let's see. So here I have my architectural tab. So I have all my walls in here, my doors, my windows, my columns, my roofs. If I move to the structure, same thing. If I move to MEP to the systems, I will have my ducts, my air terminals, mechanical equipment. This is the tab for plumbing and piping, and these are my plumbing fixtures. And just in case I don't find what I am looking for, Revit comes with a big library as well. And some of the manufacturers are doing Revit families right now that you also can download and load it here into Revit. Then here, I would like to go over with the schedules as well. So here in Revit are intelligent. So this option is also linked with our model, as I said previously. Revit has some predetermined schedules, but you can create whatever you need. Here, for example, I have created two. So let's open them. 5 fitting schedule. So I have created this one. So there is a bunch of schedules I can create. So if I go here to schedules and quantities, I will do new schedule, and I will have many options. So I can have architectural, structure, mechanical, electrical, piping. So this one is piping, and we have these categories. So I have chosen this one as a pipe fitting schedule. So if I click on here, what I would like to see is the counting of how many accessories do I have for each discipline, and the material, and which one are elbows, keys, and everything. So if I go here to edit, it will show me all the fields I can choose or I can add to my schedule. So in this case, I just took the count, the system type, and the family type, and I have chosen how I wanted to organize my schedule. Let's say, so take a look in here. I will do some changes to the domestic cold water. I will add some elbows, and as I am drawing, it is updating everything. So I have 137. I will add another elbow, another elbow, another elbow, and here it is. It is updating as I am drawing. So this is intelligent. Let's see another one as an example. Let's see the plumbing feature schedule. So what I wanted in here is to see the plumbing fixture schedules I have in my model. So, and I also have want to see the manufacturer, the description. So let's say I will select this. Let me delete this for a moment. So as you can see here, what my fields or my fields are the type mark, the manufacturer, the description, and one column that is counting everything. So right now, seems that there is one of the plumbing fixture that doesn't have a type mark on it. So to see what is the problem in here, I can highlight in model. So it will show me which one is that element. So if I go to the properties of the element, I will see the properties or the parameters that it has. So the type mark is lavatory 1. As you can see, the manufacturer is here, and it is also shown in here. If I do click here in apply, it will appear in here. So let's see the sink one. I will say it is also American standard, and it will also change the properties of the element from here, from the schedule, not from the family, which I did directly with the lavatory. So this is another example of what bidirectional means. The next one is the work sharing. So if you are working on a project and you would like someone else to go in and give you a hand, at the same time you are working on it, you can use the work sharing. All this is easier using workspace, and in that way you can control user access of each design package or where you want people. Let's say you are working on a project and you are doing the domestic pipe and the other person is working on the sanitary pipe, and by mistake that person delete a sanitary pipe. Once the worksets and ownerships has been defined, Revit will not allow to delete or alter anything under your ownership without notifying you. So you can be asked for permission and you can allow or deny. This prevents anyone from doubling up on work or trying to delete something that already has been deleted, or just any overlapping of work. There is also work sharing monitor that allows you to see who is working in the file and shows you who is saving and synchronizing. Sometimes saving and synchronizing at the same time can cause issues, so it allows you to see who's synchronizing, and if someone else is doing it, you can wait for them to finish and then you can save.
Andre,
So,
sorry to interrupt
uh,
you. We have a question,
yeah.
and I wanted to read it so we don't forget later. It says, we are landscape architects and work closely on multidisciplinary teams that include civil engineers and architects. The civil engineers use Civil 3D AutoCAD, and the architects use Revit. There, there still seem to be problems with integrating files between these two programs. Can you comment on where this is heading, and specifically how Autodesk is going to address the incompatibility?
We should see the particular case because Autodesk and because AutoCAD and Revit, in fact, um, are has compatibility. So I don't know why it is not working. Probably could be the process. So we can give them a hand or an advice, or we can set like a meeting to see what is happening, because in fact both programs are compatible. So we are going to see that further. But yeah, we should see the like the particular issue that they are having with the Civil 3D, because in fact you can have AutoCAD files inside Revit, and you can get AutoCAD files from Revit. So yeah, I should see the particular case.
Okay, and I would like to add to Greg. We do online training courses and also group classes. It can be with Andrea or somebody else on the team. So, yeah, just to leave that there, and Andrea, you can continue now.
Yeah, yeah, and if Greg is a client that has support, we can give him a hand as well. So yeah. So back in here, when you do work sharing, or when you decide to use the work sharing, your model will be in the cloud, and it will be a central model. That means that all the people that will work on the model will be connected into that central model. So that's why I am telling that sometimes if I'm synchronizing and another person is synchronizing, I could have an issue. But for this is the work sharing monitor, just to know who is synchronizing. That will be like the only disadvantage of the work sharing in the moment that you are saving. But for everything else, is great. Um, AutoCAD doesn't have this. So the only thing that AutoCAD allows is to see the modification history of a file. So if you do some modification with the latest version, you will be able to open it and see what was the modification. But that's all. You will not be able to work like with a team and at the same time. So this is great. So the worksets, when you enable the worksets in a Revit model, you have two default worksets: the share levels and grids, and the workset one. But you can set many if you want. You can set the mechanical, the electrical, the domestic. You can make them editable. You can change the owner. You can make them visible or not visible. So this is also a super great option that Revit has. The next one is the coordination and collaboration, and it is related with the work sharing as well. So collaboration for Revit Cloud Service connects building project teams with centralized access to BIM project data in the cloud. So project teams stay better connected and more informed on project progress in real time by linking multiple models. It could be the architectural, the structural, the mechanical, because you will be able to identify crashes easier and save much time because you can see what the other disciplines are doing in real time. And that makes your model more accurate from the beginning as well. With no need for costly IT setup, collaboration for Revit is a turnkey solution that allows project stakeholders from multiple companies or sites to concurrently alter a model using the BIM process. So for example, in here, I'm working doing like plumbing modeling, but my architectural model, let's see, is linked. What that means that I am not able to modify any of the architectural model, but I will be able to see all the changes that the architecture that the arc is doing on it. So, but given it that is linked, I just will be able to see and to use it, but not to modify it. If I want to modify it, I just have to open the architectural model by a part. Same thing with the other disciplines. Let's say I have the mechanical or electrical, so it could be linked in here, and you will be able to see the things, the elements, and everything that you have to avoid, or you don't want to do a crash with that discipline. The next one is the view template. So a view template is a collection of view properties, such as view scale, discipline, detail level, and visibility settings. Before creating view templates, first think about how you use your views. For each type of view, floor plans, elevations, sections, 3D views, and so on. What styles do you like to use? For example, an architect may use many styles of floor plan views, such as power and signal, partition, demolition, furniture, and large plans, and so on. You can create a view template for each style to control settings for the visibility graphic overrides of categories, view scales, detail levels, graphic display options, and more. The templates are used to apply standard settings to views, and view templates can help to ensure adherence to Office standards and achieve consistency across construction document sets. So let's say, as you can see here, I have electrical views, plumbing views, mechanical views. And I really like how this view looks. So I like to see the sanitary in green, the cold water in blue, the hot water in red, and this is definitely the view range I want to use. So if I go here in view, I can set a template from this view. So I already fixed all the view range, my colors, my filters, and everything. So I can create a template from my current view. So let's do test. And doesn't matter what I do, what modifications, I can go back applying my template to this view and to all my plumbing views.
Andre, sorry, we have another question regarding what you're talking right now. Can you explain fabrication parts conversion?
Oh, that will be another long charter. I mean, this is not like part of the webinar. We are just going over like the small differences, but yes, you can convert this pipe into the fabrication in here with this option. But that will be like a few hours training course. So this is all the basic, but yeah, you are able to select this and change this to make fabrication plans with
Okay, maybe we
sleep, with measurements, with everything. That will be like a long chapter.
can. Okay, thank you, Andre.
I can cover that like in 30 minutes if I
Yeah,
want.
it's
Like,
okay. We're doing these webinars all the time. You can be checking our website and to be registering for our next ones, and we probably will cover this in the future.
yeah, we can do, yeah, probably we can do like a punctual webinar for converting this pipe to fabrication.
Okay.
We can do it as well, and client can contact us to get further information or a small training, or yeah, with the salesperson. But we also can organize like 30 minutes of this topic, particularly because it is a very long topic.
Okay, no
And
problem.
the modeling with the fabrication will be a little bit different. So yeah.
Okay, but thank you for your feedback, Chris. We will take that into account for our next webinar content. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So where was I? Oh, in the view template. So you can manage here in the templates the view scale, the display model, if you want to see one line, two lines, the detail level, like the colors, the view range and everything. And you can keep this like in a template in order you don't lose like all the job you have done in one view. If you like how this view looks, you can save it and apply it to other views. Next one is the project template. So with this, you can define all your company standards. What will be your starting point for new models? So this is used to define custom features to enforce Office standards. A project template can include view templates, loaded families, defined settings such as units, field patterns, line styles, line weights, view scales, and more, and geometry if desired. So for example, let's see my model in here. Here in my model comes with views for all disciplines. So I have views for electrical, for plumbing, for mechanical. I have a defined numbering standard for the sheets and some predetermined schedules. So in that way, when creating a model, select the template that best reflects your discipline and intent. When you open a new model, the list of templates is available on the new project dialog, and it will include the Revit default templates and your custom templates. So for example, if your company only works with mechanical, there is no reason to have like the other views for the other disciplines, because every time you open your template, you will have to clean your template and delete these views. So if your company is only for HVAC, I would do a template with mechanical views, with mechanical legends, with mechanical schedules, and with the numbering I would like to see. The next one is the design options. So this is also a super cool features because design options are model variations that you can present to a client. So the alternative designs are accessible from a single model. Create option sets and then add options to the sets. So after your client makes a choice, make the chosen option the main model by using a set primary in the design option dialog box. So you can have, for example, let's say you have two options for the roof. So you can set the option one for for the first option, the option two for the second option, and you don't have to create a new model. You just have to set what you would like to see. So with these design options, a team can develop, evaluate, and redesign building components and room within a single project file, which is different to AutoCAD, where you have to create a complete different set or versions to the plans independently and by separate. Regarding the interoperability, so that is what I was telling to you. The question if AutoCAD and Revit can be used together, the answer is yes. AutoCAD and Revit are interoperable and can be used together. They are commonly used together to incorporate designs created in AutoCAD within a Revit project. Firms may use AutoCAD on certain projects or components of a design and use Revit to generate BIM deliverables and to enable collaboration with other design disciplines. Or you can also have a case where the final product must be in AutoCAD. You can export your sheets and views as an AutoCAD file and it will work perfectly. If you are moving a project from CAD to Revit, you also can bring AutoCAD and AutoCAD background for reference, respecting the scale and you can model your elements based on it. You also have to take into account, now I am saying this, not only respecting the scale, you also have to take into account like the location, how you are bringing those CAD files, which reference. So you have to be careful doing that to make it work. So let's do a small overview. So AutoCAD and Revit are both powerful engineering tools, commonly viewed as competitive products, but that is not totally true. They are different. The cloud computing features in Revit make teamwork easier, allowing long-distance collaboration and eliminating the hassle of distributing project files through email or US Drive, which is very risky and dangerous. So AutoCAD works like a drawing paper in which you can create 2D design that represents real elements of your project. Meanwhile, Revit is focused on considering the project as a whole and enclosing itself in reality. Then the AutoCAD focuses on the individual components of a project, but Revit considers the project as a whole, giving the architects the advantage of considering the design is indivisible. The next one is requests for changes and last-minute modifications by clients are much easier to handle in Revit than in AutoCAD, where they are practically manual and requires much more time. The big difference in how this program works is through their modifications and workflow. Revit has a more joined-up approach to both with better workflow, and modifications can be updated right away. The next one is, despite AutoCAD is more flexible because of the use of the surfaces, mesh, and solid tools, many users also comment that Revit is a bit easier to get hang of over AutoCAD. Although AutoCAD has a lot of more customizable options, you can make the interface the way you want it to be. But Revit offers more security, being strict in this sense, since everything must be built correctly, since you are not working designing in the 3D model, but that model will serve to coordinate the subsequent work. And the last one is collaboration, which I already have mentioned. So you can work as a team at the same time with the BIM, with the Revit. You can do that in AutoCAD. You just can compare what the changes you have done on it. So there are many reasons to make this change. Are you ready to make the decision of moving? So moving from CAD to BIM represents evolving towards innovative projects without limits. What at first may represent an investment of time and money will end up becoming the opposite. BIM will allow you to cover more projects than ever and increase the productivity of your team, thus saving time and money. In addition to these few things we just have seen, which for me are the more remarkable, but for sure not the only ones, I also can mention another amazing features that Revit has and AutoCAD doesn't. For example, with the correct use of the families and model elements, there is possible to do calculations of pipe diameter, ducts, panels, zone analysis, and also has an option for automatic routing suggestions in MEP disciplines. It also has phases to work with existing, new, and demolition options. So, for example, if I have in here, where is my 3D view? So, for example, all this pipe is new construction, but if I want to make it or mix it with an existing, this also has phasing options. So right now, I just made this pipe an existing pipe, and it changes the color, and you can make a difference between them. And I mean, I could spend a whole year describing my experience with Revit and all the advantages and facilities with which it comes. But the main purpose was open your mind with a small overview of all of the things Revit is capable to do over AutoCAD. The complexity of an AEC project demands tools capable of managing large volumes of information, as well as responding to the competitive needs of each client. it should also be taken in mind that the use of BIM will end up being mandatory, especially in those public works and infrastructures where this methodology is successfully applied. So to take into account when you make the moving. So start small. So if you have the opportunity and the time to take like a small project and do the migration, like doing it AutoCAD versus doing it Revit, just start with a small project. If you don't have the time, and if you are going to do that like in hot, same thing. Just choose a project that is small and schedule your first project with plenty of time. So if you know that doing in AutoCAD you spend like 1 week, just plan and schedule your time for this project, for transition like for 2 weeks if you are able to do this. Organize your project from start. What that means that, first of all, you should define how you can see your plans. What will be the numbering, the color, the line types, define your title block, your logos, prior to start to create that template. That will help you too much. The other one is invest in training to make the most of the program. The more you know it, the better benefit you will give it. And for me, just simply means time, less time, better production, means saving money, which at the end is the purpose of any business or company. And at the end, enjoy the awesome Revit world. I am very sure that you will love it as I do. So thank you for joining us. We sincerely hope that all this information have helped you to have a clear idea about the use and difference of these two programs, also to encourage yourself to explore more and why not making the movement. So if you want to get more information or you would like to have like particular classes or you want to solve particular questions, please contact Juliana Mejia, who is our beautiful marketing and salesperson. I'm showing her contact information in here. And now we have some time for questions. If you have any, you can submit them in the chat. And if you have any other questions that come up after the fact, you can contact one of our local reps as well.
Thank you, Andrea, for that wonderful presentation. And as she already told you, you can ask questions on the left-hand corner. I already see some questions coming in. And the first one is, are AutoCAD and Revit directly competing for software?
Since AutoCAD and Revit are both from Autodesk, they are not directly competing for products. Autodesk likes to refer to them as complementary to each other since they cover a lot of the same ground but enhance each other usefulness.
Okay, thank you. Next question is, do AutoCAD and Revit have free trials, and can I use to test each one?
Yes, both have an option for a 30-day free trial. So we recommend taking advantage of this so you can test features or for yourself in your specific design situations. So yeah, you can try it. You have um, a 30-day free trial in our page.
Okay, thank you. And I think that's it. And as a reminder for everyone, if you want to learn these topics in detail, as I mentioned before, you can always take a custom training with Andrea or someone else on our team. We also offer group classes online. So yeah, be sure to be checking the MicroCAD website for future webinars. Our next webinars are on March 24th, 15 Civil 3D tips and tricks in 30 minutes. Then we have the Inventor User Group webinar on March 31st. And then on April 8th, we have using InfraWorks to jumpstart your civil project. So yeah, thank you. That concluded our webinar, and thank you everyone for attending. Have a great day.
Same for you, Juliana. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Andrea. You too.